Dynamic Belief. Chapter from The Path of My Pupils by Bô Yin Râ. Dynamic Belief. It is, in fact, a commonplace to say that every kind of human endeavor will only be successful if the belief in the possibility, indeed in the certainty of its success, supports it. Those who have not experienced this themselves, and there will be few who have not had to experience it again and again during their lives, will not need to look for long to find people around them who provide positive and negative examples. The most pronounced talent, justifying every hope, fails and does not reach its goal only because there is a lack of belief in its own power. Whereas alongside it, the scarcely mediocre talent goes from one success to another, spurred only by belief in its ability. And how often does an idea only become victorious after the death of its creator, whose life was bled dry in realizing it, upon it having been adopted by uncreative ones in themselves, who have, however, added that belief missing in the unsuccessful originator despite their energetic striving. Although such experience is indeed easily gained, one can nevertheless meet on every street corner very many who are certainly people of goodwill and striving towards their goal with complete determination, yet hardly believing themselves that they will ever be able to reach it. Is it not amazing that so few reach the goal I describe in all my books, a goal which all can reach, who carry the belief within them, the belief in themselves? The proverb speaks the truth when it says, God helps those who help themselves. Divine help is not in any way being questioned here, but the condition is being indicated which must be fulfilled if divine help is to be made possible. And so all apparent belief in God is but self deception as long as it is not justified by the rock hard belief in oneself. But belief is will. Those who do not know it as a form of will know nothing of belief. However, here we must resist the folly which equates obstinate and contorted desire with will. Ordinary speech may well speak casually about will, where only untamed desire strives to attain its goal, whilst the will which could attain it rests in a deep sleep. When we say belief is will, we must add that will, as here required, is nothing other than the exalted power of the imagination, through which a man creates within themselves the form of their destiny, whether with respect to their outward existence or to their attainment of their highest goal in the spiritual world. This has long been recognized in the healing of the body's ailments, and able doctors try above all else to liberate the patient's will to be cured from the shackles the patient themselves has forged for it. If miraculous cures once conferred the highest reputation on the sanctuary of Asclepius at Epidaurus, or today Lourdes, enjoys the same reputation among its faithful, in both cases the miraculous agent is the stimulation of the will to cure, the freeing of the imagination, the belief in the possibility of a cure, even though it may only provide the precondition for opening access to other kinds of helping powers. In all ages, similar stories have been told not only of holy places where the sick have been cured, but also of people who have even been able to cure when potions and remedies were unsuccessful. With the often very beneficial efficacy of these people, the miracle can be seen in the success they had in arousing genuine dynamic belief in the patient, belief which is the will to be cured and which replaces the picture of sickness created by the same misled will with that of regained health. It has never been the case that every illness could be cured in this way, and enthusiasts ignored too readily the fact that both human healers and those places of grace visited by pious believers had to let some tormented patients leave uncured or with their condition only temporarily improved. Yet only folly would deny that the power of belief can have a quite remarkable effect on the human body. Whatever dynamic belief can achieve, where applicable, by influencing the physical body, is greatly exceeded by the effects that can be produced by properly guided belief in the invisible organism of the spirit. Just as the sick person whose illness is of the type which can be healed through belief must create the picture of health within themselves, using the same power through which they have hitherto created the picture of illness, so too must the seeker who wants to reach their highest goal in the realm of the spirit create from the power of belief in themselves the spiritual form into which they seek to change themselves. Never has even the most ardent desire made a seeker into a finder in the realm of the spirit. Here, too, the possibility of finding must first have become certainty before the high goal can be attained. Belief in oneself is the only effective will to God, and this creative will alone establishes the likeness of what they are to become in the inner being of the seeker. The invisible spiritual organism of the seeker will transform itself according to this likeness, so that they become more and more capable of finding. Mistaken teaching and the utmost lack of trust in oneself have diverted the belief of the vast majority into creating within their inner being the picture of themselves as inherently excluded from supreme and assured spiritual knowledge. In place of this false picture, correctly guided belief must put the picture of the called to be one with God. Trust and certainty in the possibility of attaining their highest goal must from the very start become alive in a person if they really are to approach the realm of the essential pure spirit and whatever awaits them there. All timidity is no good, for eternal salvation cannot have any efficacy in fear and trembling, even if these words, so very far removed from every reality, have been given such significance here on earth for thousands of years. Many have sought for all their lives and yet could not find, only because they have put their trust in such evil words and thereby held back all trust in themselves. Without the belief I speak of here, it is impossible for anyone born on earth to reach the spirit again. This dynamic belief can only become properly effective if it finds men with the most unshakable confidence in themselves, confident that they can reach their high spiritual goal. All spiritual help, which is continuously available to man, so that it can compensate whatever they still lacks when setting out from earthly darkness, they turn to path leading to the light, remains completely impotent as long as it fails to find within the seeker that confidence in themselves at work. Only they who trust themselves can also trust the exalted help which is indispensable to them on their steep path. Only they who trust themselves is capable of proper dynamic faith. stands within the will to their redemption, released from mere desire. In all my guidance and counsels, I assume in my pupils this yes saying to oneself, disregarding all the faults and failings which they know well enough. Many passages in my books most clearly demonstrate how a person must first become certain that they originate from the eternal, substantial Spirit before they can entertain the hope of returning to the Spirit. With the best will in the world, the seeker cannot make use of the instructions I have given them if they have not yet created within themselves the solid belief in themselves and their eternal spirituality. Yet this belief must not be an assumption of truth or a mere supposition. Only dynamic belief, this belief which is power and propagates power from itself, can also give the inner assurance everyone must possess who wants to walk upon the path to the Spirit. On the other hand, belief in products of the imagination, whether they correspond to reality or not, are more a hindrance than a help. Not to help creating imaginary pictures in the pupil's brain, I seek to portray in words worlds invisible to the physical eye, but to build a bridge for the preliminary understanding of the demands I must make on their will to act in the interest of the seeker. Where the reader thinks they find contradictions in these depictions, something which may on occasions not be difficult, they should leave everything at rest for the time being until their own dynamic belief teaches them to resolve what seems to be an error. Dynamic belief is assured in itself and can never be shaken by the misinterpretation of an image of words.